my business, no matter what.
I want to see that paycheck because it's got to be a good one to let Curly Sue come at you like that. Sister Wives, this is the final part of our recaps. And if you can't stay for the whole thing, this is basically just all. Also jumped around a little bit, and as one of the comments said, this did not need to be 4 parts. This video probably didn't even need to be 4 parts, so I'll be easy on that criticism, obviously. But we're talking about how Robin repeated things. It's very, very clear that she did. I don't think we need a lot of argument about that, but this like confused look she got on her face when they were like, yeah, you repeat things. 3 people have the exact same story. Actually, 5 people, because they all admit that they did it, because everyone tells on themselves. But why so confused?
Do you think you were there for her?
Yeah, I do. Yeah.
She said there was a betrayal of trust that happened. Like she would say some things to you, and then those things would somehow get out.
Don't know what she's talking about as far as like things that I supposedly.
Oh, just looking for it.
She just felt like it was a violation of her trust with you.
Okay. Well, that's news to me. Love it when I find out things from you.
Then we're going to go into the fact that Robin did used to tell Cody things to get the other wives in trouble. Now, see, that's another part of this where it's so frustrating when they try to act like they're not just like the majority of polygamists. You know, you never want to say all because you can't say, oh, every single situation is like this. Just a lot of them are. Looking at her elevated position in the family, I would assume that she is not a stranger to throwing people under the bus.
We can all get along in this world.
Eventually, everybody does need to get together, and I don't know what that looks like, and I don't know what that would take. Would it take therapy? I don't know.
Seems like to prove the point, they went back into what Christine said about how Robin would tell things that she had told her to get her in trouble with Cody. And that phrase right there, if you've ever been in a certain situation, you can't get in trouble with your partner. They're not an authority figure in your life. They may be displeased, or you guys need to compromise, or you need to discuss something, or hey, maybe you even need to break up. But they're not an authority figure. They're not your parent. You're an adult. We don't get in trouble with our partners.
I'm really like, I'm like going, everything that I experienced with Christine, I experienced with Christine. I didn't think like she was doing well in plural marriage, and it was bugging me. We wouldn't go out and sit in the backyard and eat because Christine was worried Janelle would come over. And I'm like, well, Christine, that's our family.
Cody and Janelle are just giving problem at this point because Christine a lot of times just wanted to spend time with Cody and her little portion of the family because yes, you're part of a big family, but those small relationships are also important and to nurture those. And for Janelle to just come on over when they're having their family time is also inappropriate of her unless you're invited, even when you're in that broader family structure. Some people might disagree with this. I welcome whatever. But yeah, I just, oh God, insufferable. But now remember, all 3 of these women, because Janelle has expressed a similar story previously, but that didn't come up in this episode. All of these 3 women have said this, but Cody's, of course, relegating it to their scapegoating Saint Robin. I don't know what that's about. Then Christine also talks about how he wasn't present for the kids. When she saw him, he was just angry. Whenever she tried to talk to him, he would not talk to her about anything. Then he goes and he's like, oh, well, she's a hypocrite and she just didn't want to get the family together. Half of the family traditions, I'd say 95% of the family traditions, everyone's admitted this, were because Christine was bringing the family together. And this is very repetitive, though. He just lies and says things that make you just want to just throw your highlighter that's not a carrot. Now back to the catfish, which I never thought I'd be saying that again. This is basically, this horse done passed away. I thought it was in the ground, maybe cremated. I don't know, but we're here again. So during this whole time, Meri does try to talk to Cody with Jen, and Cody shuts her down, which makes sense. If you watch these seasons, he was not helpful to any of the wives in those seasons other than Robin, right? So she was shut down on that, but he still is being fed information from Robin, has the option to hear it from the horse's mouth. That horse came again, but has the option to hear it from the horse's mouth and chooses to keep hearing it through a filtered source with Robin, who has actually been asked to stop involving herself.
You understand why maybe Meri could have a right to distrust you?
No.
After everything that's happened, you don't feel that Meri has any grounds to distrust you?
I do not. I absolutely do not. I have had Meri's back.
When everyone has the exact same story about you and it's annoying because it doesn't make you look the way you want to look.
I had her freaking back, okay? I was sitting there watching everything that was happening, and I was worried about her. And I was saying, she kicked you out, you go stay in another room. You have the conversation with her. You don't come over here. You go work it out with her. She's being taken advantage of. Even if I didn't know it was a catfishing situation, even just somebody sitting there taking advantage of someone who is struggling, a woman who's struggling.
Such a girl's girl.
I was like, you get your butt over there and you talk to her, you work this out. I was talking to her. What is this? What is this conversation you're having? Why are you talking to this person?
Okay, Suki took me out with the eye roll. Go back to the end of that clip. She rolls her eyes. But honestly, did you ever think maybe you should have just stayed out of it because it wasn't your business and you actively made things worse? Unless, like, people do accuse her all the time of actively being the one who set everything up, which, again, I don't think is the case. But I do think that she was feeding a lot of information, not to mention she was asked to butt out of it.
Robin did. Robin would come over and talk to me about it.
Because she was fishing
and like, what's going on? And I would tell her what's going on. But then other stuff would happen and other stories would be out there and other communications supposedly, would happen. And
So you put 2 and 2 together and you're saying that maybe Robin was the leak?
I'm not saying I know who was the leak. I just know that, you know what? No. There were times that I would have a conversation with Robin that the catfisher would find out about.
Now, I will point out, even Meri thinks it's ridiculous they're talking about this. She's like, it's been how long? Why are we still talking about this? But little, like, friendly advice. If you think you have someone that's doing something like that, make up just the wildest story, right? But they'll still kind of believe it. And only tell it to that one person. And then wait and see how long it takes for that story to come back to you. If it doesn't come back to you, then hey, you have a real friend and you were being paranoid. Maybe we need to take a minute. But if it comes back to you, you know exactly what's going on and you cut them off and don't tell them anything anymore. To me, it doesn't sound like being there. It sounds like fishing for information to go and tell father. And I'm calling him that very intentionally because he is the head of the family. And if you can do something like that, you can get yourself in a better position and maybe be the last one left standing living in a $2.2 million house in Flagstaff.
I don't believe that she did it intentionally to hurt me. I think she did it to try to help the situation, but she kept making it worse and kept making it worse. And by sharing the information, and I even kept saying to her, don't talk. Don't talk.
When she was talking, who was she talking to?
So that's
like
A friend that she had at the time that was in communication with the cat.
That friend would be the Kendra girl that we've talked about That friend would be the Kendra lady that we've talked about a couple times. And like classic, just watching her, like classic kind of mean girl energy, that one who will be nice to you, and then when you turn around, bop you with her Stanley kind of situation, you know? If you have been told that you are harming someone and you continue the behavior, or that you're harming a situation, or you've been asked to step out of the situation and you continue to do it, and you know that your involvement is causing harm, and you continue that, guess what? It's intentional. It's not trying to help you or trying to hurt people. That's what it is.
I'm sorry. That's 10 years old. If Meri's bringing that up here, I had the right to know.
But this is why they feel that they can't be friends or trust Robin.
If your wife's having an affair and your other wife tells you, that's my business, no matter what.
He acts like that on TV. Can you imagine him in private? But basically, case closed. Robin was telling everyone things behind the backs and just repetition. But that brings us to the end of this. The only other thing he said of note was he hopes they accept his apology because that would make him feel good. Oh, and he also goes into how Robin is the moral compass of the family because it must have just been complete mayhem before she came into the family, and it seemed so peaceful once they added a fourth wife, clearly. Out quite a few clips I recorded, but it's all just so repetitive, and this is already a long video. But that's it for this season. They are coming back for a season 21, like I said, but the filming schedule is much more sporadic, and I honestly just don't know what else there is to say. This should have been the end. If we do recaps, we may do one like once a month, but at the end of the day, it's just, I mean, you've heard me complain all season, let's be real. The show needs to end, but I understand they don't have any other like super huge shows like that right now that are those mega family, blah, blah, blah. We haven't heard about Plathville. Anyway, I go on and on. I hope you have a great day, and I will see you soon for other things.